it's Luli, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 Otome games with dark fantasy elements. So basically Otome games that are like gory, a bit gritty, really dark, that sort of thing. So if that's something you're looking for, then you've come to the right place. But anyway, let me start. First up is Sweet Clown. Now this game is about a main character who is sort of struggling from survivor's guilt, and I believe all the characters apparently have some sort of mental issue or another, so we're already like talking a really depressing game. But basically the reason why she's feeling this way is because apparently, you know, her and her brother got lost in the woods. She managed to survive when he didn't, so I guess that's kind of made her feel kind of guilty and uncomfortable, and it's made her close off from the world. But one day she gets an invitation, a really suspicious invitation to a tea party. Nevertheless, she of course goes and meets these 5 other characters that are really eccentric, and I believe they all have like some issue or another. But anyway, everything goes smoothly. They have a lovely, wonderful time, you know, drinking tea and eating cake or whatever. And of course, however, it is an Otome game, therefore, when they're about to leave, things happen and they're trapped within this manor. And the whole story is about her alongside one of the characters trying to escape the manor. And apparently, you know, it's quite important to follow the recommended routes, like the order, because apparently, like, that route in whatever order is kind of reveals secrets and mysteries and things in like a really revealing way. So apparently it's really recommended to follow the recommended order. So I would check that out and follow a walkthrough if you do choose to play this game. I think I'm looking forward to it in that apparently it's like really messed up. So Takuyo, the company who made this, either goes really funny or really messed up. So, and this is one of the messed up ones, and apparently like it's got lots of like gory, like crazy things happening, and also some of the characters have like a crazy expression. So I'm really looking forward to it. I believe there are 4 endings. And so 2 bad or 2 crazy, 2 normal, I can't remember, but and apparently like there's the crazy endings or merry bad endings as they call it, where the character goes a little bit like dodgy, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so up my street. But anyway, so that's Sweet Clown. Moving on to the next one. This one is Shuuen no Virche. So Sweet Clown is only available in Japanese, but this one was recently released for localizations, so should be available in English soon. But this one is about a world in which people die before the age of 23. So their like max lifespan is 23. And it's like renowned for being one of the most depressing, despair-ridden Otome games out there, and it is also one of my favorites. And yeah, so all these people, you know, die before the age of 23, which is extremely young. I'd be dead. And but because of this world, they have created this technology called Reliver technology, and it's basically where they create a clone, download that person's memories, and then put it onto that clone. But various things happen sometimes, like problems as a result of this process. Like, for example, you might no longer be in love with someone, that sort of thing. And it's quite unsettling. And so some people are a little bit against it. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's so screwed up. And as you can tell, it's got like sci-fi elements. And that's what I liked about this game when I played it. It's the fact that they managed to combine sci-fi elements and fantasy and fairy tale like things put together, because the story is very much told in a fairy tale kind of way. The main character is super depressing as well, in that she's considered almost like a death god. Reason being that whenever anyone goes near her or hangs out with her, that person seems to like die. I don't know whether it's by chance, or I don't know, that they don't know the reason. It just sort of happens. But obviously people associate that with, oh, if you hang out with her, you're definitely gonna die. So she's all on her own, and it's really sad. But it's, yeah. I mean, Another thing is that with this game, you can't just go to the happily ever after endings. You have to play the despair endings. And there are 2 despair endings per character. And even after that, like going through the despair endings for, I think it was 4 love interests, I think, or was it all of them? I can't remember. But even after that, the good endings are like some of the characters, it's questionable. You're kind of like, is this good? Like, I guess, but not really, you know? So it's definitely not for the, yet again, not for the faint-hearted. And yeah, it's definitely got dark fantasy and craziness, and I'm really looking forward to when it becomes available in English, because oh my god, yeah. Sorry, I love this game. Next up is Shiro to Kuro no Aris, or Roro Ari for short. This is another one that's only available in Japanese. However, I thought I'd include it because it's dark fantasy. And it's actually a double heroine game. So you've got 2 main characters. One's called Airi, which is in like, well, I'll explain a bit, but she's in the white world. And then you've got Luna, who's in the black world. I don't know, I can never remember which is like what world. Oh, okay, so the white world is the human world. The black world is the Alice in Wonderland world. Okay, remember that. But basically, in the white world, it's about Airi, who lives as an average high school student, as is always the case. Is it second year as well? Sorry, it's just in Otome games that always seem to be in second year high school. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be a trend. But anyway, she's living happily in the human world. However, one day she gets basically brought into the Alice in Wonderland world and is basically told to become the queen there. And the reason is because what happened to the previous queen, Luna, is that her power went a bit like chaotic and was overwhelming, and things went down essentially. So there was a revolution and they have to basically rescue Luna off into the human world. So that left, you know, a place for a queen, and they decide to take Airi, who is in, it's basically a swap. Luna from the Alice in Wonderland world can no longer be queen, so she gets taken to the white world, which is a human world. Airi, who was living happily in the human world, then gets taken to the black world, aka the Alice in Wonder world, to become queen, which it's kind of sucks for her because she doesn't know what the hell she's supposed to be doing. And it's kind of dark fantasy in the sense that it obviously, this girl was living happily as a high school student, and then now she gets dragged into this and has to be queen and all of this. And also it has like some vampirism in it. So it's got like, basically, if you're higher up, your blood gives you power. So sometimes you'll have characters like taking blood from her, or her drinking someone else's blood. I don't know. It sounds really interesting though. Like, I love vampirism in games, so that really piqued my interest. It's actually why I decided to buy this. But yeah, it's dark because I've played a bit of one route, and she was really, Airi was quite depressed in that she, you know, is in this unknown world. And then I haven't played Luna at all yet, so I don't know what to expect from her. But like, she just got kicked out of her home, if you know what I mean. So it's just a bit, I don't know, it sounds, but I'm really curious to see how the secrets of the world get revealed, because you don't really know much. You just kind of, you know, play it and see what happens. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one. It looks, especially if you like Alice in Wonderland and stuff like that, it feels very gothic. So yeah, that's why I decided to bring it in. Now, the fourth game I don't have a physical copy of. It's Voltage's Even If Tempest. Now, this one's available in English, as you know, and I've only played the good endings, but it's essentially about this girl, Anastasia, who ends up kind of being accused for being a witch, and literally starts off with her being executed, except she has this ability to rewind time every time she dies. And so it's about her journey going through different time warps, essentially rescuing or not rescuing people. It's really depressing, as you can tell. I mean, she has to die several times, and people die here and there. And but what basically happens is you have a set kind of, you go through one route. At the beginning you have a choice of, I think, Chryas or Tyrrell, and then the next 3 routes just kind of goes on as it is, and you do good ends of each of them, and then at the end it unlocks the bad ends, I think. And essentially what happens is you go down that route. There's a witch trial because this witch of, what's it called? Witch of Ruins, I think. He basically takes over someone, and that person goes around killing people. Yeah, I know. And then they are sort of accused of being a witch alongside 4 others, and it's all about kind of those 5 people figuring out who the murderer is. And as Anastasia, you basically join into these trials in one form or another, and you do have like some gameplay elements in that you can spend the time you do have to meet and interview different people to try and collect evidence and abilities that you can then use in the witch trials. I use the walkthrough because I cheat. You can do it on your own if you want, but I definitely would sort of recommend walkthroughs because it's just such a smoother experience, you know? But I think, yeah, I felt really uncomfortable playing this game because normally games don't make me cry, and this one didn't make me cry, at least the bits that I did play. But there are moral choices you have to make that you're just like, I don't want to make that choice, but you still have to make it. If you know what I mean? Like sacrificing certain people you love and seeing like someone go crazy. Like there are so many situations that just feel so wrong. But if that's something you're really into, then this is perfect because that happens over and over and over again. Now, one thing I must say is that the routes are quite short, and I felt like a lot of them, when the romance was starting, that's kind of where the route ended. So it felt a little bit sad, and I also really wanted like Witch of the Ruin route or Conrad route. I know it wouldn't make sense, but you know, I wanted those routes in there, so but yeah, essentially, in summary, it's basically about a girl who can die to go back in time. She had a really rough life, and she keeps on getting dragged into these witch trials in one way or another in each timeline, and she's having to deal with that. And yeah, I mean, it's a really good game. It is a really good game, especially, you know, I think it's Voltage's first console release, so you know, there's that too. And yeah, again, it's dark fantasy through and through, and as I said, I recommend it. Now, 5th is, and as you can tell, I haven't even opened this, and I think lots of people probably expected this game to appear by now, but it's Black Wolves Saga. This is a game by Virche, as you know, that's like the infamous messed up game people. But this one is about a girl who's actually brought up in a really safe, confined environment, almost like a bird in a cage, and it's set in a world where there are humans and other like beast like beings, for example like werewolf type people and cat people, but a few years before this game was this was set in, what happened is they were all living in harmony. But one day, there was this disease that kept on killing off humans, and they really didn't know why. And what happened is there were rumors that the disease was caused by these wolf people, and as a result of that, humans and the stuff went out to start hunting down these werewolf people, and it's just kind of like that messy situation of people going out hunting wolves. But I've heard the wolves aren't better either. Apparently they go and attack villages and stuff, judging by the things I've read about this game. So it's a bit of a tit-for-tat situation, if I'm to be completely honest. But this story is set a few years after that, and is about this really innocent girl and the relationship she has with some of these really dodgy characters. And I have heard that some of the routes are so messed up, you question whether it's even romance. You're kind of like, is that really romance, or is that like some weird, like apparently there are questionable routes. And I've heard it's so messed up to the extent that it's like someone has to die in each route, and there are no really real like happily ever afters. It's all just like, it just sounds really like, oh god. I mean, I guess it is Reddit, so I kind of expected that, but yeah, I don't know. And this is actually the Vita edition, which is the sort of, so there was a PC edition and a PSP edition. This one is those two combined with extra features. And I must say, I am really looking forward to this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I will have to play it when I'm in a really good mood, because it sounds like it's one of the most depressing, like, messed up games out there. Like, there's of course torture scenes, there's of course blood, gore. Think of all the trigger warnings and it will probably be in this game, like that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And again, unfortunately, this is only unlocalized, so not available in English. But, you know, if you are able to play Japanese games, then I want you to play, even though I haven't played it. I've heard so many good things, and it's like iconically the worst messed up, you know, masterpiece. So, yeah. But anyway, that kind of concludes this video. Hopefully it was enjoyable. If you have any recommendations of dark fantasy Otome games, please do let me know, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, avoid spoilers. Yeah, who knows, maybe my backlog will increase even more if you recommend me some that is of interest to me. But anyway, as always guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully I will see you in another one of my videos or streams. Bye!